Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wide to Tall Film Festival. So today, I'm really honored to have with us here Devana Ng, founder of Invisible Company and the maker of Invisible Bags, founded in 2020, just last year. And since then, it has taken the world by storm. So she journeyed from a starting point of a hiker, just an everyday hiker, and one day decided that she was going to be undertaking this mammoth task of taking on plastic, being part of the solution and not part of the problem anymore. So Devana, along with her husband Flavian, she undertook and since then developed the invisible bag, which looks like plastic, it feels like plastic, but is biodegradable, it's compostable, environmentally safe for both land and sea, and is also printed with non-toxic ink. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over the mic to Devana. Devana, thank you for joining us.
Hello, Chrissy. Thank you so much for having me at the White to Tall Film Festival. So this is Devana, co-founder of Invisible Company. I'm a nature lover, and also my mission is to spread the positive environmental messages through our products to the general public, to every one of you.
That's amazing. And can I just add that at the age of 27, you are already an entrepreneur and doing so well in the last 2 to 3 years. Can you please tell us a little bit about your story?
For sure. So how did we start Invisible Company? It's actually a couple of years ago, about 2018. Me and my husband Flavian together, we love going for hiking in different mountains in Hong Kong. But unfortunately, even though the mountains are beautiful, we found a lot of treasures. So imagine you could find plastic bottles, plastic bags, all those food packaging like energy bars, snacks bars. So we feel sad about it when we saw this. So we start to picking up the treasures. So every time when we go for hiking, we bring our own bags and carry it all the way when we do the hiking. And today we even organize different hike cleanup with friends to go to different mountains to picking up trash. Sometimes we found like in 2 hours hike, we found like over 80 plastic bottles. Even the bottles are all like in 1970s, and it is terrible. So by 2019, because of hiking, it triggered us to need to step up. We need to think of how to bring solutions to the companies and like manufacturers to have an alternative material to replace plastic. So until 2019, we found a material which is called polyvinyl alcohol that is right now become an invisible bag. This is a completely biodegradable, compostable, and even dissolve in water. Is a water soluble material. You might think that this is a new material, but it's not. Actually, is found 100 years ago by 2 German scientists, and today is commonly used in your daily lives that you wouldn't know. For example, the medicine capsules coating, laundry parts, and even commonly used in agriculture and garment industry for the embroidery. So we found this material is a great idea to implement and roll out to the market to let people know that now we have an alternative material. So by 2020, we decided to quit our job. We launched Invisible Company, and the same year, May time, we launched Invisible Bag.
That is quite a journey that you took from start to end. And you said 3 years from start to now, actually.
Correct.
That's really huge. And I loved how you actually talked about, putting the onus on the manufacturers and the retailers instead of the consumer. I guess this is also something that you took on as a concerning factor, because everybody would consume and buy a lot of these products for invisible bags.
Correct. So this is the problem that we are trying to use Invisible Bag to solve. It is nowadays a lot of people see as a consumer goods. For example, when you go to supermarket, you have the shopping bag. When you go to supermarket, you always have some pre-packed food. But that's not the worst. The worst is like those unavoidable packaging. For example, when you buy your home appliances, it always pre-packed, and inside there's different components. It always have its individual packaging. Also, when in your daily lives you go to buy your new T-shirt, it's always packed with a poly bag. This kind of packaging is provided by the manufacturers and also by the brands. And this is kind of because during the shipping, you can't avoid these kind of packagings. So we want to use Invisible bag as an alternative material to provide or promote it to those brands. Hey, right now you have a solution. It might not be, you might not consider it right away because it takes many different procedures to make a decision, but at least is now you have a choice instead of only the conventional plastic packaging.
Yes, it's all about choice, isn't it? And also about education, because I guess what you're doing right now, and I love how you're going to have programs to reach schools and taking hiking trail cleanups and so on and so forth. But it is all about education at the end of the day, because we do this unconsciously, and what you're doing is just really hitting the nail where right at the beginning of the entire process and putting that packaging into the manufacturing, which is amazing. Can you tell us more about this? What are the latest projects that you have going on?
There's a couple of projects that we're working on. First of all, of course, is the Invisible bag. So Invisible bag is, if everyone could browse on our website, invisible-company.com, or on our Instagram, is we are not only providing just a poly bag. It's like, for example, everyone right now is easily open your own company on Instagram, and e-commerce is such a popular channel for selling the products. So we want to provide a complete solutions to all these, no matter you're individuals or small brands or even a big corporates. We have the poly bag, which is packing, for example, your t-shirts. And then from the e-commerce side, you have a mailer bag. Then we have a mailer bag that is completely biodegradable and also is water soluble for people to ship out your goods to internationally. So we have this complete solution for brands. And second of all is actually we are working for a new project, because today our material is water soluble, is great ideas and great solution, but there is still some application that is limited we cannot cover. For example, food, because it's hydrophilic. So we are working on this project with engineers to develop new materials that we could cover these kind of applications.
Wow, I didn't know that it was going to be so complicated that you would actually need different types of material or plastic packaging to suit different products. But this is all a learning curve. So you've actually gone through this entire process of trying it out on food packaging as well.
Correct. Since this is a little background about us, is like I was working for skincare industry, and my partner, they are all for consumer goods and garment industry. We know that how impactful a company would bring to consumers with the products and the packaging, especially the afterlife. A lot of us are considering like how do we keep our nature beautiful and our and our ocean also without any plastic pollutions. Actually, we step out from our comfort zone. We go to materials that none of us are like a material science background, but it doesn't stop us to move forward, because as long as you have passion, you're willing to learn. Every day is a learning process to know about the materials, working with different people, you gain more knowledges. And especially nowadays, we're working with engineers and scientists, a lot of chemical terms we never heard of it, even though we study a little bit of science in the secondary school. But as long as you want to change, you want to bring a positive impact, it wouldn't stop you to go further away. We know that how impactful it will bring once this project is completed, and it will bring a huge change to the industry.
Yeah, I hear you completely. And I want to just take a moment right now to just make a note to all the youths that are watching in right now. And they look to you as this really successful entrepreneur that has taken, leaps and bounds outside of your comfort zone. And this is extremely inspiring. But it is also, as you mentioned, driven by the passion that drives you about looking after our planet and our environment. Can you tell us more? Maybe I thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day. I can hear that you're actually still at work right now, but could you take some time to actually talk us through what you actually went through, the highs and the lows of your journey, and maybe something that the youth can actually learn from. And I think one of the more important points is also, why is it important for the youth to pay attention to this plastic problem?
For sure. You might hear some noise behind because we are at the office, but I hope everyone can still enjoy this interview. I think, thank you so much for your compliment first. I think being an entrepreneur, no matter what age you are, you can still do it. Even you are 60, retired, you can still be an entrepreneur, because it doesn't stop you to do something that you want to do. Before this business, I was working not just an employee in a company, and I enjoyed it a lot, but it's very stable, and that you fill in some kind of job duties for a company, you get satisfaction, don't get me wrong, but I want to do more of that, especially for the nature. So as mentioned earlier, hiking is a trigger for me to start this business. But before that, I already imprint some sustainable living or conscious in my mind. For example, there's a lot of things that every one of us could do, especially all of us are hearing right now, is how to reduce your waste in your daily lives. There is something we can't change because when you go to supermarket, everything is already provided by the brands. You cannot just go there and remove the packaging and take out all the biscuit and check out. You can't do that. But you can find other solutions. For example, right now there is some bulk buying store, or those traditional grocery store for rice, for sauce, everything. You can just bring your own bottle, bring your own bag. When you go for takeaway, think about it. Can you bring your own container? It's just easy as such. No straw, no disposable cutlery. This is just a small little step. But more we could do is comes to your daily life. For example, when you buy some, especially nowadays, fast fashion is such a trend. When you buy a new clothing, think about it. Is it you just want it because you want to be part of the trendy things, or is it you really need it? Also, look at the material that you're buying. Is it sustainable? And also, when you buy some pre-packed materials that you can't avoid it, think about it again. Can you recycle it? Don't just trash it in your normal trash bin. Gather all the recycling materials, and from time to time, you go for recycling. Actually, accumulate it for 1 week, you will see that how much you could waste. Just a personal story. Me and my husband, we try all our best to reduce all the waste in our daily life that we consume. As long as you live, you still have to consume, right? So for 1 week, we don't buy trash bag anymore. Sometimes you still come with some packaging. We reuse that packaging bag as a trash bag. So in 1 week, we only have that small little size of trash in our home. Even
Wow.
for our office, every one of us, the colleagues, we recycle all the materials. And also in the office, we only dispose of our trash once a week, also this size.
That's amazing.
So I think this is, we can't just a little step. You might think, oh, you can't change the world, for sure, because we have millions of people on the earth. But don't neglect your power, that every single little step counts to help our nature become beautiful again. And also your actions influence your friends and families. And this is how I heard from my friends as well.
No, I think what you said last was so impactful. It really got me there. Every little thing that you do will influence the people around you, and it's a domino effect. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. The lifestyle on a day-to-day basis, it's not about the big momentous and expressions that we talk about or do, but the little things that we have to undertake and the lifestyle that we choose every single day, how we actually turn up every single day, and the actions that we take every single day actually accumulate and mount up. So I think for a challenge for our youth, this is something that we can actually ask them to do, right? Try this, a great experiment to accumulate all your trash in 1 week and see how much you actually get to.
That's a great experience, and you can start to take pictures every day, what kind of packaging you receive and you consume. And by 1 week time, you'll see, oh my God, actually, I bought so many different things and it's all come with plastic. And so at that time, it might be a trigger for you to do something for the nature. You might not immediately switch your lifestyle because it's hard. But what if just a daily change or a weekly change, and you can spread the message to your friends, hey, why don't we go for buying a vintage clothing or secondhand clothing instead of fast fashion? This is already a step ahead change. It's a great thing. Why not taking it as a challenge?
Yeah, I think that's actually really doable as well. You know, it's something that we take charge with every day. You have to put on your clothes every day, so your choice every day. And if that's the first thing that you can do in the morning, can you imagine how the rest of your day will pave out? Because you're taking ownership of the first thing that you do, and from then on, everything else, you will have that mindset in place.
That's correct.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, I really like the way that you actually led this on into, you know, how we can actually challenge the youth. Do you have any suggestions for, you know, what they might film even, you know, or what are the possible actions that they can do to, you know, make a difference within their lives? Like let me put it this way, what would your daily activity be from morning to night when you go to sleep? Like, how can we actually take the steps in those small changes that might make a difference in the end?
I think for me might be, I'm not the hardcore person for like an activist. I don't call myself like this. I would just only call with equal with attitude. And every single step or every action that we're trying to take is how to reduce our negative impact to the environment. This is what we're trying to do, no matter is a personal life or come to a business. Let's talk about personal life, because I think it's more related to the youth right now until you go to graduate your university or going to work. I think, especially like in Singapore, as a very compact city, everything is so convenient and it's hot weather. When you go to a convenience store, you might, I want to get a soft drink. Okay, no worry, you can buy it. But next time, think about it. If it's just a bottle of water, could you bring your own bottle to go out and carry the bottle? And so you save a plastic bottle. Or if you have no choice, you have to buy a soft drink. Instead of trash it, can you really go for recycle it? This is already a first step. And second thing is, like in my daily lives, is I try not to buy any delivery, food delivery. I think almost a year and a half I didn't do it. Most of the time I either dine out, just stay in a restaurant. But of course, during the pandemic, then most of it triggered us most of the time is going to wet market to buy food. So I bring all my bags, even I have plastic bag. I'm not saying no to plastic bags, because plastic bag is still have its advantage, but I wash it. So if I get a plastic bag, I will go home, wash it, and I will use that plastic bag to buy products in the wet market again, let's say mushroom. So there is something that we could do in that part. And I cook a couple of dishes of food, so I could save the food and put it in the fridge. Even you go for ordering delivery, you have those plastic containers. Don't trash it. Why don't we just wash it and reuse it, and you can use it as a lunchbox as well? So these are small little steps. And I know that might be a little bit difficult for people to take it as a challenge. And we have a home food composting machine at home. So we even compose our food waste. First, we are vegan, so we don't have much like a chicken or like bones. We don't have such things. But this is also, you will see how big amount of food waste you could reduce every week. So we use those as compost to give it to the neighbors to plant as well. There's a lot of things, and even at the office, and when it comes to really work, you can't avoid that there is paper being consumed. We have drinks cans, aluminum cans, and when we receive goods from the other parties, you will always receive a mailer bag, or sometimes you even can't avoid it. There's always bubble wrap, but we try to recycle all of them. So in your daily life, you can't avoid plastic because plastic is already been in the industry for a long time. But think about it. The most important thing is the afterlife, how you are going to dispose of it correctly. And this is something that you should imprint in your mind, that don't say no for everything, but think of it, the afterlife, then you can make a big change.
That was really powerful, Devana. First of all, I think I'm going to use this moving forward. Eco with attitude. I love how that sounds, and it frames it up so well. And the afterlife. Always remember the afterlife. I think these are the 2 points that I will take with me for the rest of my life. So thank you so much.
Thank you. No, thank you for having us again. And this is a great opportunity to speak with every one of you. I'm also, I'm not a teenager anymore, but I'm still a young person. And we realize that there's a loss of energy that we have, and we can give it to people. There is also one thing that we emphasize a lot of our company is how to support the community, is how to, through our products, to give more messages to the people, as such like eco with attitude, sustainable living. You can't just deliver a product and then finish. If it's come to a circular economy, every part of it, we need to consider it as well. And also this again is emphasized also the afterlife, because we cannot not to consume, because we are humans, but we are not going to be the extreme back to the cave. We need to think of how to consume smartly. This is also for every one of us to take it, the point of view of sustainability.
Yes, Devana, I totally agree. But you did mention one thing that I think needs a little bit of clarification for our viewers, because they're all youth and students that I'm also getting into this wonderful film festival and learning festival, is the fact that you actually brought up about the circular economy. And I think this is so important for them to actually find out about. But you know, what we can find online is also an extremely technical explanation. Would you be able to break it down so simply for us?
For sure. I don't know. I guess for students, you will design a product if you are in a design school. I guess a lot of you are from the design school. And when you design a product, think about it, how the product is being sourced. Again, just take it as a fashion design as an example. There is cotton, there is hemp, there is polyester. And when you use polyester, can it be like a recycle or like recycled PET? If you are using cotton, look at it where it's being sourced. If you are using hemp, how much water consumption can be saved comparing with cotton. So this is already the first element that you can consider. Second thing, the production. Think about it, where you could produce and manufacturing to save the transportation cost and also save the energy fuel, all these things. Can you find a supplier that close by you, or needs to be import from overseas, like in US while you're based in Singapore? And also think about the distribution. When you're going to distribute your products, can you save the packaging? using, instead of plastic, conventional plastic packaging, think about it if you could use it for sustainable packaging, such as like a paper mailer, like our water soluble mailer, or instead of using how do you call those, tissue paper to wrap a clothing, and then a poly bag, and then a bubble wrap, and then a mailer bag. How do you save all these packaging and minimize it? I think this is one of the important elements when you distribute a product. And also when your customer receive it, they will say, oh, when I buy a clothing, I'm not only buying a product, I'm also buying the story behind it. I'm also buying the message of this company, from the design processing to the packaging to when I receive it. It's all about sustainability. And of course, there is something that we can't control is when it's go to a consumer, how a consumer going to be consumed, and also how a consumer going to recycle the products. But at least if you offer a solution to a client, then the client is not only trashing the product in a trash bin, is you give them different solutions to end, again, is the afterlife of a product. Compose it if your city or country has the composting in facilities. Unfortunately, if a product going to the nature, this is not the best way to dispose of a product. That don't take it as a option. But there's always like accident. If it's going to the sea or if it's going to the nature, it could be biodegradable. And also like our product, it could be water soluble. You can just simply do it at home, boil your water and dissolve the packaging at home. So you already leave no trace on earth. And so at the end, even if it's a product like ours, is a biodegradable material, you send it to the landfill, it's also biodegradable and leave no microplastic. So circular economy is a complete loop. You, at the end of the day, is you don't leave any harmful residues. You don't accumulate more waste on earth. So I think when people trying to design a product, think about all these elements in your production, then you could already bring a huge impact to your end users.
No, that really sums it up so well. And it touches this new generation in that perfect spot. What is so trending right now is also unboxing videos, because we're all getting all these packagings. And when you look at the unboxing videos, sure, there is this, tinge of excitement about what's going to be on the inside of the box. And that is part of the lure, right? But you are looking at multiple layers of packaging that is actually getting through into this tiny little, prize at the end, when I think at the end of the day, there's so much that we can do to bring down, this problem. And the solution, you framed it up so well, Devana, that the solution is all about the story, because you're not just buying the product for the product. You're buying the product and you're choosing to buy this product because of the story behind it and because of the messaging that the product brings with it as well. And that is how you can also be the example and the invitation for your circle of influence to follow suit. It's not something that we will boast about, because, we as Asians don't really function that way, but it's also when we get the opportunity, when asked, why do you choose this over the other? That is a chance for us to actually help bring to light all these conversations. And it's a perfect conversation starter. Thank you, Devana, for talking about that story behind the product.
No, you're welcome. My pleasure.
Well, I guess we've come to the end of our interview. I want to be really cautious of our time and respectful of your time. Do you have any last words for our inspiring filmmakers about that messaging, about that story, about what you would like to see come through the submissions?
Okay. I'm very excited to see all these themes that are going to be submitted. And I would say, look at your daily lives, really, from small details. Don't don't look at just only one part of the things. I know that during the pandemic, a lot of people were focusing on something that you see is the disposable cutleries or plastic bottles or plastic bags, or like when you do food delivery. This is just part of it. There is many more that we are consuming every day. Why don't we start from that angle as well to bring more impact and tell the message to really the source, like the manufacturer and the suppliers and corporates, let them know that, hey, it's time for you to make a change now, because we're the consumers. We are asking because we are the one who are going to recycle all these material, and we are going to take care of the afterlife. Please give us solutions. And this will be something that I would love to see from all these themes, is how are we going to bring a message to all these manufacturers?
Put the onus on the manufacturer, because the consumer has the power and the influence when they come together.
Yes, you're right. And our power right now is very strong, especially the youth. We are the biggest users for the digital or social media, and the power of that is too strong. So we should leverage this platform and give more messages to the brands and every one of them.
Yes, thank you, Devana. And I hope that this is inspiring our filmmakers to take on this power and this influence that you already have as the energy source of our society, and make those viral videos so that we can make a better influence for our environment. Thank you, Devana. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chrissy. Thank you so much. Wide to Talk Film Festival again. I hope every one of you would enjoy it and enjoy your film shooting.
Thank you.
Thank you.